When I got this radio, it was not working. There was actually a loud hum whenever you turned it on, and you couldn't change it with the volume knobs or anything like that. So I actually bought this capacitor on eBay and then replaced the one that was in there and actually got the radio working again. So from here, I want to actually turn the whole thing into a guitar amp, and because of that, I've done a little bit of experimenting. I tore the tuner tube out, I forget what it's called, but this basically takes the AM signal and converts it into an intermediate signal for the preamp and power amp tubes to go through. Right now, I know the way that this works, as far as I understand, is this is my rectifier tube, which converts my AC into DC. This is a preamp tube. This is supposed to take the intermediate signal and bring it to a louder. It makes it louder. It ups the voltage on it so that it can run through this preamp tube, which also is a sound buffer and auto gain. So this is a double diode triode, and the two diodes, there's one that is a auto gain feature, which I'm thinking about removing the wiring from, and then the other one is a noise reduction, which I noticed that if I run my fuzz pedal, I have been able to get sound through this through a guitar. I had to plug it through an actual amplifier, go through the headphone jack, and connect it to actually get the noise out. But it killed any like distortion or anything that was going through the amp that I was using. So I'm thinking about getting rid of the noise buffer and even the pre-gain channel in this and just using it as the triode. And then we have our power tube right here, which goes to this transformer, an output transformer, which then goes to the speaker. This knob does nothing. It changed this jobby to tune the channel. So I'll probably think about getting rid of that. I also thought maybe I could figure out how this thing works and use it, because it's just a potentiometer as far as I know, but see if I could use it to actually do tone control or something like that with this. And then we have our switch / volume knob. So the plan today is I'm actually going to put sleeves on this, so when I mount it inside the case, because I have a mount right here, but sleeves on that, and then I want to swap this out for a 3-prong grounded power connector with a fuse. This radio type is the American Hi-Fi type, American Hi-Fi, and they're called that because they use the 5 main amps, the rectifier, the tuner tube, the preamplifier tube, the other preamplifier tube that buffers and everything, and then the power amp tube. And they're really popular, but they're also very dangerous because the power cord comes with a 2-prong connector that there's no wider one to connect it the right way. So you could actually plug this in backwards, which would electrify the case, and if you touched it, it could actually kill you. So I'm trying to minimize the chances of that happening with me by forcing it with a 3-prong cord to plug in the correct way, which would stop the whole case from being hot, and then with the fuse, so that if anything did go wrong, hopefully the fuse would kick out before I died. Okay, so here's what I got for the power cord. It has a 3-amp fuse in it right now, I think, but basically it's a switch and a connector and just a standard 3-prong cord. I was considering just cutting one of these up and wiring it straight in, kind of like how this is wired in, but I figured that this was a better option. I don't know why, but I thought that this would be way better. Well, one, I could actually swap the fuse from the outside, and I would have to, if I wired it straight up, I would have to actually have a fuse inline on the hot side. So, but what this is going to do is I can connect it. I'm going to connect it to the case right here. So we'll have it so that the up switch turns on up, and have the switch on the outer edge so I can reach around. And then we'll go in through here, and I'm gonna have to make some space. I have So this tube socket's going to be empty because that was where the tuner tube was, and this is my rectifier. So if I get this in here this way, I should have some space right there to hook everything up. It's going to be a tight squeeze, but I need to get everything disconnected from this that I don't need, and I actually might pull that whole tube slot out for right now because I don't think I'm going to need to put another tube in. I think once I get the jack hooked up correctly and then this preamp tube so it's only using the triode, I think I'm good to go for power wise, but I mean we'll have to see when I get to that. I guess, you know what, let's cut the hole before we pull that out. I'm just gotta figure out exactly how big of a hole I need to cut and make sure I'm not cutting anything too big. I may have issues with this, but I guess we'll see when I get to it. First step is to, I think, desolder the electrical cable so I can get that out. That'll give me space to actually cut some things out. And I actually haven't plugged this in yet today, and so I know that chances of something being electrified is pretty slim at this point. There we go. Let's cool off for a second. Make sure these connections are still solid. I keep melting stuff. So those are still good. I can pull this out. I'm actually going to use some of this cord to wire up my switch. Mostly because the wire I bought is a gauge that's smaller than I would like. So it'd be good for like small electronics, lower voltages, but because of the resistance, I'm worried with the higher voltage radio that I will run into issues in the future. Okay, so let's scooch this over here for a second and take a look at this. So, got my switch. It goes this way, so this one is associated with this. I'm not really sure specifically which one I'm going to be concerned with. These wires look really small too. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, here we go. But they look really small. Which makes me wonder if my gauge wire is good. But I mean, that's solid, so it's going to have less resistance. The stuff I have is braided. No, I'll probably just buy a bigger gauge solid core wire to really get everything good. Okay, so that's my ground. That goes here. But I want it to be, so do it this way and this way, or do I do it that way and that way? I think that's better. And then I want my switch to go up for on, and that leaves my hot going there. I want my switch up to be on, so if it's down I know it's off, and then if I put it like this, then I can bridge right here to right here, and this can go over here. That's just a small wire, and I actually gotta take a piece of, I gotta take this out. What this is this connects all, this is because I took this tube out, the loop isn't finished for the heating element, so I'm going to take this out and use this wire, and then I'm going to connect, I'll probably go in here. I have 2 black wires that come in over here, and then I will just take this longer one and connect it right here instead of having it loop through there, so that'll clear up some space for other things. Probably leave this capacitor here if I can. I disconnected this red wire because it's not necessary. It used to be connected right here and create a loop. It used to be connected there, but I don't remember why. Oh, is it ground maybe? I don't know. Oh, it's to ground, help ground this, I think. And then I just, yeah, and this is the ground for the transformer that's in there. And I actually, when I was testing, I bypassed the transformer, went into this preamp. It's pentode something, but it's not like a typical preamp like a 12AX7 or something like that. Actually, it has 2 triodes in it, and you wire them in a series, I think. And that way you amplify in the first triode and then amplify again in the second triode. But this is a pentode, and it is a lot like the power amp. So it's used to take the intermediate stage and from the tuner and have it be in a more usable state when it gets to the preamp. I'm actually just going to use it as a preamp for my guitar signal, and then over here I'll have to bypass like I said before, I'll have to bypass the gain stage, the auto gain stage, and the buffer stage, the noise reduction stage. But I think right now it really doesn't matter what's going on with this because I'm just doing power right now. So this way, switch up. So let's get this white one out. I wonder if I should have sleeved it. I mean, I guess it's too late now. I think we're good because it's going to be on this side and nothing's really going to touch it. I might want to put tape over that. But I also want to check to make sure that we got connectivity. So, got you right there, and this is my negative. I like it. Okay, so I got this hooked up. I just need to drill holes now. I need to figure out where this is going. It would be nice to have this come down right here. But that's... It has its... So I'm not sure because I don't have much clearance there. And that's the old one. Maybe, I mean, I could drill it out and just put it in there. But I don't know. Will that mess up my screw holes? Maybe. Maybe not. I mean, it's gonna be a tight fit. I don't have any space to put it up here. Can I do that on the side here? No, because I need the power cord to come out. I actually would prefer it to be in the back. You're not gonna do, actually. I have a piece of paper. I can get a piece of paper. I can cut the hole shape that I need in the piece of paper. I just don't know how I'm gonna get. I just need to figure out how to get the hole shape drawn on the piece of paper without like much stuff, without being horribly off. I gotta do it probably the worst possible way ever. Right? Perfect. It's a start, right? I'm actually not going to do screw holes until I get this all worked out. Perfect. Alright, so I was going a lot longer than I thought I was going to be. Now I need to, I guess I'm going to measure this. I borrowed a ruler from my mom. Alright, that should more or less have it all centered up. So now I just have to drill it and make sure nothing is in the way. Alright, so I actually have cut a hole in the backside for my switch, but there's a lot of stuff in here that's in the way. This is my rectifier tube that I pulled out. So I'm actually going to start making room for things. I'm going to desolder this resistor, and I'm going to push off to the side and cover it in shrink wrap and have a wire that runs it to that connector, which will give me room to move the power connector and get that in there. Okay. Oh, it's hot. Which makes sense because I was putting something hot on it. But I think that totally serves its purpose. And so, now we have this. I actually have a little bit of this red one left there. See, I want a lot of space. I want a lot of wire to work with, but I don't want it too exposed because then I'm afraid that I'm going to short out on something. Okay. And then some white cable. I think that's what I'm just going to end up using. Nope, you know what? I'm just going to use some more of the black one that I've been using already. Just because. It worked out okay though. So let's see. I don't know if I gave myself enough room on this other end. Tell you one thing now. This could take a lot more solder. I should be able to just a little bit of effort pop this in here and not ground anything out. It's a tight fit, but it totally works. So I just need to screw some holes in. Finish this. I'm gonna pull this transformer out because it'll make it a heck of a lot easier to strip this wire. Way easier.